Welcome to the Swazzle Puppet Studio. I am Sean, and today I am going to show you how to install a puppet mouth palette. Now, in order to do this, you'll need a couple of things. First of all, a foam puppet head. And if you're interested in learning how to make a foam puppet head, you can check out some of our other live videos where you made a foam puppet head. You will also need your puppet mouth palette. Again, if you want to see how to make a puppet mouth palette, check out some of our other videos and you can see the mouth palette. Now, the principle to installing a puppet mouth palette is pretty simple. And if you follow these instructions, this little tutorial, I think you're going to get a really great flexible mouth palette. So I can show you, this is sort of like an example of what it looks like, you know, when it's all completed. You can see the palette in there. This is once the fleece is on and everything. We're not doing fleece just yet. We're just installing the palette right into the foam. Here's what you'll need besides the foam head and the mouth palette. You'll need some rubber gloves. You'll need some barge cement. Always follow all safety precautions whenever you use a glue like barge cement. Work in a well-ventilated area, like I'm working in a well-ventilated area. Use a respirator like this, also gloves. You will also need a Sharpie. I like to use this color. It's sort of like light orange or melon, or sometimes pink, because it's closer to the color of the foam. It doesn't show up on the foam as much as a dark color would. And you will also need a fresh Persona blade. Persona blades are blades used for haircuts. You can find these at your local beauty supply store. Okay. So the real trick to putting in a puppet mouth palette is you want to inset the palette into the foam. And there's a very straightforward way to do that. One, you are going to cut out a small wedge of foam. So what you do is, let's not be too crazy, but it's about 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch in. You're going to mark with the Sharpie on the facing side, top and bottom here of your mouth. So about 1/4 inch or so, we're going to mark with our Sharpie. So let's see, marking about like this. And I'm drawing a line all the way along. It's about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. Let me see, I've got my trusty ruler here. Let's see what we're at. Yep, about 1/4 of an inch. So you want to mark down the top and the bottom. And it should look like that. See that? Marking on the top and the bottom. Now I'm going to do the same thing, except we're going to do it on the inside edge right there, this portion. And again, we're going to mark at a 1/4 inch. So here we go. This particular puppet is made out of 2 types of foam, you may notice. Scott foam for the main head portion, and then the cheek corners are made out of super soft. The reason why I use super soft in the corners is you want to make sure the corners are as flexible as possible. You want that mouth to open and close as easy as it can. That way the puppeteer can get the most out of the puppet. Okay, so now I've marked it on the inside as well. 1/4 inch. Now the next thing you're going to do is pull out a fresh Persona. You definitely want to use a fresh, sharp Persona for this. So take out your Persona blade. These are sharp, obviously. Be very careful. Cutting your finger with one of these is not an enjoyable experience. So you can remove the cardboard protector. And we're going to cut first going straight down. So we're going to go all around here, just going down, and you only want to go down as far as about 1/4 inch. So here we go. Cutting down into the foam about 1/4 inch. All the way around. Okay. So that's what we've done. Just cut that. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut on our other line, and we're going to try to meet that first line. So we're going to cut in again, just going as deep as 1/4 inch. So here we go. Now I'm cutting out on the second line on the inside of the head. Trying to only cut in 1/4 inch. If it goes a little deeper, it's not the end of the world, but you definitely don't want to come through the other side. Like so. And here's the most satisfying part, which is you get to remove this little wedge of foam. What you are creating is a shelf inside the puppet's mouth. A little bit to remove here. So there we go. So you can see we have a little shelf inside the mouth. And the idea is this palette will fit right inside this shelf. For anyone wondering where we get our foam, we get our foam from a place called Puppet Pelts, puppetpelts.com, and they have foam for all of your puppet building needs. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do some gluing. Again, follow all safety instructions. I wear gloves. One thing, not only does it protect my hands and my skin from the solvents and the glues, also makes it really easy to clean my hands. So if they start to get all kind of gunked up with glue, I can just pull the gloves off. It'd be a little hard to hear with this respirator on, but it is what it is.
We're sort of used to talking to people in masks now, right? All right, so the next thing to do is we're going to apply glue to 2 places. We're going to apply glue to the palette, and that glue is going to go along this top edge, the inside edge, and also right along this edge here. Okay, we don't want to get any glue, if we can avoid it, on the red part of the palette. I put a little bit of glue on the cardboard. The reason why I do that, so cardboard here. First of all, I keep my workstation clean. Second of all, I reduce the amount of fumes that are kind of going up into the air that I'm breathing. So foam, a little bit of glue, dab it, and then we're just going to carefully work around, for starters, this top edge. Like so. Now the next thing I'm going to do, pull a little more fresh glue out, is I'm going to work the glue around that facing edge, being careful not to get glue on the red ultra suede. If you get glue on the ultra suede, don't try to wipe it off. The best thing you can do is let it dry and then put some gaff tape on top, press it down, and just rip it up the best you can. That's one way that you can get glue off We'll just wait. So now it's on the facing edge and the mouth. Now we need to put glue on our foam puppet mouth. Put a little more glue on our cardboard. Grab our foam applicator. And we have a nice little sharp edge here. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to work that glue all around that little shelf on the top and on the bottom. So make sure I get glue on both sides, the top and the bottom. I'm just going to work my way around. Working my way around on the top and the bottom of this shelf. Pull my glue out. Working away on the top and bottom. Here we are. So once I'm sure that I have a nice, thin, even coat on all of the foam, you kind of want to wait for that to dry. You want to use, when you're using contact cement, thin coats and wait for it to dry. This foam pattern that I'm using is a custom pattern that we created. And we create our patterns by going through a mock-up process. And Julia might do a video on that in the future. Now we're ready to glue the mouth palette in. And the important thing is you want to start at the corners first, get those corners lined up, and then kind of work your way around to the front. So here's my mouth palette. I'm going to push it into the corners, into the soft foam corners for starters. So line up that corner and line up that corner. All right, so now it's just tacked into the corners. Now I'm going to carefully work my way around, making sure I don't pinch it closed, the little shelf closed, and just kind of set that palette right into that shelf. There's the top. And now I'm going to set the bottom. Making sure I just set it in to the shelf. Working around slowly. Okay. And there you go. That is how you install a puppet mouth.
If you like these little live building videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We do these periodically. You can also check out the other videos we have, lots of puppet building videos. We also have a few puppet shorts we put up there. We're always putting fun stuff on our YouTube. So like and subscribe. And again, I will show you. This is our puppet mouth. It is all installed. It has great flexibility, great motion. And our puppet is now ready for the next step. All right. Thank you all for joining. Again, like and subscribe. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comments. We try our best to answer all of the questions that we get. So leave it in the comments if you have questions, and we'll try to answer them the best we can. Bye, everybody.